can just maybe give room as we do.
Or maybe we should make it this way. If you were
here
able to make it
yes, yes. Adeni, Arios, Limon, Ogunjobi. Yes, it's like Adamu. Yes, so people the layers of the cake. We baked it day two. We joined all the layers together with buttercream. So day three, today is day three. We are capping it with the fondant icing to I am ready. I am like as in we've had different feasts fed to us. Today's good. Something about it. If you don't put action, you're just going to be here. You would have spent 3 days here. I mean, it would have been better for you to have not even bothered attending. But if you have attended and you have listened and you have learned, then it means that the next thing to do I was just
Okay, I wanted to be sure it wasn't just yeah, you're not alone.
All right, fantastic. All right, thank you.
Yeah. To me,
sorry about
Okay,
that.
I was having a bit of network glitches. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, can I say yes, we won in the chat room? Hmm. And the speaker, the glitches got nothing on all.
We can
Hello,
hear you,
Tino,
ma.
can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you, but your video is freezing, but we can see you, but it's just freezing a bit, but we can actually hear you and we can see you.
Oh, okay. So that's awesome. Today, father of science. Isaac Newton says something. He says the only reason why I see further, if I've seen further at all, is because I ride on the shoulders of giants. Now, a number of us, we code our financial status. If you understand what that means, can I see one in the chat room that you can relate with it? You code your financial status. You don't want to be too vulnerable. If you've ever made an investment that did not work out, can I see a 3 in the chat room? You've made an investment and that investment on this boat. It's going to be great this night. Now, if you consulted before making that investment, can I see a 2 in the chat room? That you did not just think that, no, I study everything. If you consulted. Very practical. We are bringing in mentors and we are bringing in mentees, both ways. For you to be able to make success, you must ask the right people. Mistakes. In fact, as a friend of mine and I say, before I come and meet you for counseling, I will check your failure level. If you've not failed well enough, if you don't have the level of failure, the right people. Just before we started, we're sharing some of the testimonials we had, and the song we used, it's the one from Michael, the King of Pop. We don't become better, that we are perfect, but that we are on our journey to perfection. We are understanding the right things to do, and we are carrying the right tools. I will not be able to share on my end, from my end, because I profile of the first speaker, that is missing from your end.
All right, Ma. Just give me a minute to share my screen.
Thank you, Catherine. So while we are waiting, in the chat, what's your name? Where are you joining from? Thank you. No audio. You might want to stop and reshare.
Has garnered over 14 years of professional experience in business advisory projects for various entities, delivering value-adding results with industry-leading practices. His areas of specialization cut across immigration advisory and compliance power, telecommunication, e-commerce, banking, information technology, as well as construction and advertising. He currently manages the immigration portfolio of a wide range of clients with a combined expertise strength of more than 400. He also supervises several PMG Global Immigration Services. Bukunmi is a graduate of the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and an associate of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, CIPM. Bukunmi is passionate about helping people improve their output. Son and a daughter.
World, and I am so excited to be here today. It's interesting. I've done a lot of presentations over the years. Sorry, Tumini, if you could remove the waiting room link, it could help. Waiting room. I was going through preparing this. I said, how am I going to crunch all of this into 30 minutes? So I try to highlight the key things that are important. But before I get into my presentation, permit me to do a few things, okay? Time that I've lived in this world, and I'm alive by the mercy of God. I need to do that. And then I'd like to thank Tumininu and the entire Read NGL team. When I joined the Read NGL backend team, if she permits me to call it that, yes, oh my God, how am I going to cope? But it's been such an experience of a lifetime, and I've met such an amazing array of people. I have mentors that I've learned so much from, mentees, and the other mentors. Often at times difficult when you come second after somebody has gone first, because this topic is the same and we're having a chat this evening, so that just to find some alignment so we don't repeat the same things. But I know we have such interesting experiences that will come to bear, and you will there's no state of rest. It's either you're going up or you're going down. And so I want you to have an open mind to this. I'll also like to thank what Tumininu for what she's doing with Read in terms of the problem solving skills that she's developing. I will tell you for free, if you are not someone who reads, if the only things you read are social media posts and you read people's Instagram posts and just observe people's lives, Oga, you will struggle to grow in your own personal life. You will just watch other people grow, because what people show, I mean, we know that social media may not always be true, but let's assume that some of what is posted on social media is true. So what people show you are the fruits of the work that they have done, the diligence. Don't think about the fact that some people are not showing you the right things. It could be AI, just put that aside for now. And think about the fact that if you spend time observing other people or comparing yourself to other people and start envying other people's growth and improvement in life, then you will struggle to grow. So it's important that you understand that. Very, very important. So what she does with the reading club, the reading group is amazing. I remember when I became a manager in KPMG, and I found out that I was struggling in my role initially because I was trying to manage like I was still a senior associate. So I invested in books. I got John Maxwell books, 360-degree leader. I got all sorts of books. I started pouring over them. And I learned so much. I engaged with other leaders too that I've interacted with over time. And I learned so much from it. And then I know some of my team members are here. And at some point they came to me and said, Bukunmi, you have changed though. Some of them have left the firm. I said, why would I change now? So please, if you don't read, then you can learn. If you don't read, then you can't grow. It doesn't mean you read for 5 hours a day. It's the consistency that is important. And talking about reading, I know I've used 4 minutes. It's important that I say this. There's a book that Tumininu wrote. I told her I'll give her a review of that book. And this is my review, Tumininu. Where is the money? That is the book she wrote. That book is mind shifting. Go get that book. At the end of this program, this free advice, she's not going to pay me for this. But at the end of this program, she's going to tell you the book is available at a discounted rate. The e-copy, you could get the hard copy. I think she can tell us the price of that also. Please go read that book. It will change your mindset about value, about money, about how you can develop your stock of value and be able to command more value. Value is given in return for value. If you sit down and complain to tomorrow that, oh, some people are making money, Oga, increase your value stock. If you can increase your value stock, you'll be able to command more value in return. If you think that you're not earning enough, then increase your value stock. Develop yourself. Invest in yourself. There are some people that until the organization sends them on training programs, they cannot use their own naira and kobo to buy training packages, to go and register for CIPM. I'm a chartered HR practitioner, and the work that I do in KPMG did not require that I should be a chartered HR practitioner. But I sat at the office one day and I said, I need to improve on my knowledge. And I registered. I paid for the courses. I did all of that. If you are waiting until your organization will sponsor you for training programs, that you are not ready for growth. If you are waiting until somebody will pay, if you're not willing to invest in improving your own value stock, then you are really not ready for the journey of growth. And then moving on, I said 30 minutes is not enough, but wherever I stop, Iyiola will take it from, because I need to be done by 6:46. Okay. Now, who am I? The profile is an abridged version. After I sent it, I thought about it. Okay, it's a summarized version, because some of the things I do by the grace of God, I asked myself, how do I even do this? Someone saw me at church this morning and said, I saw your flyer somewhere. How do you combine this? And I said, it's just by the grace of God. I was writing a profile. I was writing a profile of myself, which is different from what I sent out yesterday for something in the office. And I looked at all the things that God had helped me to achieve over the years. Almost 15 years in KPMG. September 14, 2009, I joined the firm. KPMG, a great place to work. I love the firm. See, I'm wearing blue. I love the firm. It's giving me so much opportunity to develop myself, the opportunities that I have had in the firm. If you are one of my colleagues here, thank you for being a part of my story. So KPMG is a key part of my life. Work-life integration, I will drop this quickly. It may not be part of the topic, but if you are somebody that in your journey of career and growth, you think that you are going to compartmentalize your work and your life and say, as soon as you're done with your 9 to 5 or your 9 to 4 or your 9 to 6 or your 8 to 5, whatever time you start work, then you're going to do other things. If you don't find a way to integrate what you do at work with the things that you are passionate about, then you will struggle with this whole concept of work-life balance. Because I personally believe that what people should be focused on is work-life integration. So that if you have a passion, you love presenting. For example, I had the privilege of facilitating a session for men last year in the office. I love to talk. I love to interact with people. I love to moderate sessions. And I was asked to present. It was part of I was doing that in the course of work, but I was fulfilling a passion and a desire that I had in myself. So what you should ask yourself is this: in this work that I have, are you passionate about sales, about talking to people, and you are in sales? That is a skill that has been given to you freely. It means that you won't struggle to talk to people. And if you have to develop that, you can develop that. And so don't try to separate your work life from your personal life, and then you just start struggling and you say, oh, I'm spending so much time at work. Integrate it. Find the balance. Now, this is not a career talk in the sense of it, but let me just leave that there. Now, moving forward, because Iyiola will speak, I'll share a bit around my story. So wherever I stop, like I said, she will pick on it. She will pick up from that. You know, your mindset, I like to talk about mindset. Your mindset about growth. The topic of today is guided growth, the power of mentorship. But I'd like to start by talking about your mindset. How do you see yourself? If your mind is not properly set, then you will repel whatever is done to help you become better. You could have all the mentors in the world, the greatest mentors. Get someone like Iyiola, who's such an amazing mentor. I've observed that closely, and I see her approach to mentorship, amazing. You could have even Tumininu, you could have the biggest mentors in the world, and you will still struggle to grow if your mindset is not set, if your mind is not set properly. And what is your mindset? Your mindset is a state or position of your mind which influences what you believe, how you act, and how you respond. How you act talks about proactivity. Do you wait until you are told to do things before you do things? Some people at work, is it until they tell them do this before they do? How are you going to grow? How are you going to excel? You cannot go so far if you are not somebody that can anticipate change and even self-disrupt yourself so that when the change comes, you are ready. Many people are waiting for change to happen before they respond. And before you know it, you're already late to the market. You must daily anticipate that things could change. You must daily disrupt yourself. If you are too comfortable, then you become complacent. And so your mindset to this issue of mentorship resulting in growth has to be right. And one way to determine a person's mindset is by the words that they say. How do they talk about themselves? How do they talk to other people? So the environment, how do they describe the state of the environment? Yes, the environment may be challenging, but I can tell you that if you set your mind in the right place, you can, in spite of the challenging environment, still achieve great things. You can sit down and God will give you ideas. And, you know, this is not a spiritual, I'm a pastor also, but I will try as much as possible to not allow that to come through too much. But you will forgive me if that comes through a bit. But I believe strongly that if you have the right mindset, you have a positive mindset to problem solving. You're not somebody that sits in a pity party with other people complaining about how things are not right about the environment, but rather you move away from that environment. Some of you after today, we need to stop picking some calls, because some of those calls that you pick over and over again are the things that are holding you back from growing. Because your mentor may have told you something and, you know, and guided you, and your case may end up being like the case of Rehoboam in the Bible. But, you know, permit me to just use that quickly. Rehoboam was the son of Solomon, and when Solomon died, Rehoboam became king. And then he went to the elders and asked them, how should I treat the people? And they said to him, treat them well. Let them know that you have their interests at heart, and they will serve you forever. You know what the guy did? He went to the younger people who had no experience, and they told him that he should tell them that I'm going to treat you worse than my father did. Paraphrased. And then the kingdom became taken away from him, and he had just 2 tribes to rule. You may not know that story. You may not be a Christian, But what the lesson that you will take from that is that at the end of the day, you must have the right mindset about growth. Now, moving on, what is guided growth? What is guided growth? Guided growth. When I saw the expression guided growth, what came to my mind was guided missile. Some of you have watched American movies, some of these war films. You will understand the concept of guided missile. A guided missile is a missile that is guided in such a way that is targeted to create the desired impact. If a missile is not guided, it can create more problems for the people that even send. In fact, it can destroy the people that launched the missile because it can go back to them. It can just keep going up and down and then cause catastrophic events. So to create real impact in life, you have got to be guided. If you are somebody that you only listen to yourself, then your egungun will enter the express and people will look at you like this. Just be going, just be going, just be going. The egungun, be careful. Now express it, they go. Like this song from anyway, that's just by the way. But if you don't listen to people, and it reminds me of a few years ago. I was whenever people came to me, some of my team members, I know some of them might be on this call, they'll come to me and they will want to tell me something. Next thing, I'm already jumping into the conversation. I said, I already know what you're saying. And then we had this. I hope you can still hear me because I'm getting this. Your internet is unstable message.
Yes, we
I hope
can.
you can still hear me. If
yes.
You can still hear me. Okay, great. And then they told me, they said, Bukunmi, you don't listen to us. It pained me. I felt touched. But I said, okay, that means there's an area. And the challenge that we have at times is that we'd like to listen to ourselves alone. Now, you may have come to this call to hear the steps to mentorship and all that. Maybe Iyiola may touch on that, but I felt it was important that you settle the issue around your mindset. How do you think? How do you approach interactions with people? If the only voice you hear is your voice, you will get into trouble very soon, if you have not already gotten into trouble. Now, moving on. Growth is not an accident. Growth is not an accident. And luck, somebody's mic is on. Luck is not a system for growth in life or career. Luck. So people could say,
your mic.
People could say, luck. This guy's a lucky guy. Luck can work for you once or twice. And it reminds me of a story when you can just change the setting. Everyone else, that will help. Let me just stop while we'll try to figure that out. I think it's taking out of my time. We're going to find. Okay. Yeah. Am I back now? Great. Luck is not a system for growth in life or career. Luck is not a system for growth in life or career. You shouldn't build your life on a system of luck. Now, there are people who have been lucky and they won lotteries. And the stories have shown, the records have shown that oftentimes when people win lotteries, they lose the money in a short period of time. Because oftentimes they don't even have the capacity to handle that kind of fund. So if you're somebody that is looking for luck to grow in life, you will probably get in trouble. And I remember I won a microwave oven many years ago. Some of these raffles, it was done in my office, and there was a raffle in my office then. And I won a microwave. That was the first microwave my wife. Just before I got married, it was like our wedding gift. My wife will remember this. And I won that microwave, but it's even spoiled now. So if I want to live my life, so every day I'm praying, God, give me luck. Give me luck. Even, and I will shake this table, I'm a Christian, and I believe in favor. Now, when God gives you favor is not a system for growth in life or career. Favor can provide a platform, a door that God will open, but it is the work of your hands that you demonstrate by diligence and commitment to the work that will bring the result. If favor opens the door and you do not deliver value, that same door, they will tell you to go back through that door. So I won a microwave, and I was happy. And then later I won. Some people have not won anything, raffles, still pray they should win. Sorry, I won twice. I won a gas cooker. some years ago too. In fact, I was about to leave the event. It was a get-together, a year-end party in the office, and I won a gas cooker. And I was about to leave. I said, let me just wait for people so I can carry them. They can join me. And they called the number and I won a gas cooker. But since that time, that was about 8 years ago, I've not won a any raffle again. Now, imagine I was waiting. Say, I want to buy a TV. Now there's another raffle for TV. Father, please, this is my turn for a TV. Brand new Cha-Cha TV. Let me win it again by luck. I will wait till tomorrow. So what I'm telling you is you cannot live your life based on luck. There is a process to growth. And at different levels of growth, you need to be handheld before because you have never walked certain paths before. And that is where coaching and mentoring comes in. I know that there's this, a difference between coaching and mentoring. There's an overlap because at the end of the day, both are aimed towards development. Coaching, oftentimes short-term, oftentimes focused on a particular area. Mentoring is oftentimes lifelong. And that's why I told Tumini, she gave me 2 mentees. I said, these 2 people, they said they are closing the cohort. We cannot close anything. These 2 people, we are together. I told one of them, we are together. We are not going anywhere because it's a mentoring process. And so it's a lifelong process. So in the process of growth in life, you have to understand that you need people. Even God said, man, it is not good for a man to be alone. It is not good for you to be alone. And I'm not talking about marriage. It's not about marriage. It is not good. If you are the only tree in a forest, you will be exposed to the current. You'll be exposed to the environment. You'll be exposed. The way you can withstand certain things in life is by banding together with other people. The associations that you keep, which could come from mentoring. Now, let me go quickly to just talk about, some of because I wanted to talk about my personal experiences. And I will talk a bit around, some of the people that have mentored me, may even have coached me. Like I said, there's an overlap with that. Now, a mentor, it could be defined in so many ways, but just think of it this way, and I will shock you. I may shock you. Some of you may know this already, but look at the word mentorship. Sheep, separate sheep and separate mentor. Mentorship, think of it like the sheep of a mentor, that is the company of a mentor. And a mentor is somebody, can be defined as somebody who can support you, who can advise you, and who can guide you. Now, we'll say something that may be mind-shifting for some of you. A mentor does not have to be somebody who is older than you. A mentor does not have to be somebody who has more money than you. Because at times you think, a mentor does not even have to be somebody who is more senior to you in the office. Now, that might be a general mindset of it, but there's something called reverse mentoring, where you can learn from people. And this is so important in the journey of growth. This is so mind-shifting for me personally, because some of my team members, I call one of my team members, I don't know if she's on this call, her name is Aderonke. I call her my mentor. She doesn't like me calling her my mentor, because there was a time in my career where I pivoted a bit. My job role was enlarged, and I needed somebody to guide me through certain processes. And she was the one who filled that gap. I call her my mentor. She doesn't like it. She always say, no, no, no. But if you only listen to people that you think are older than you, that you think are more privileged than you, then you will be missing the opportunities to learn from people that may be in a less privileged position, but you will learn so much from them. You will get lessons from them that will catalyze you for growth. So it's important that you are open-minded to learn from people. You're open-minded. And moving forward, because I have just about 9 minutes to go. You need help in life. You are not all-knowing. You are not God. Okay? Calm down. You are not God. Even if you are the genius. You are the genius in an area. You are the genius in science. Doesn't mean you can fly an aeroplane. You are the genius in coaching. Doesn't mean just calm down. Some people just need to calm down. At times, you are always talking. You are always talking over everybody. You are going to a meeting, a conversation. You are the only person talking. Oga, let me tell you the danger with always talking. And I'm not talking about not being prepared. Though. You should go to a meeting with an approach of contributing. But if every time, in every meeting, you don't even listen, You will say things that are off cuff, and I tell you for free. Let me reduce my voice a bit so that the people around will hear. If you're always talking, we may be good technically on the job, they will use it for the job. But when it gets to decision making about critical strategic roles, they'll say that guy talks too much. If we put him in that role, he will just go and say everything. Even inside that, it will give inside that information. Not illegal stuff they are doing, but you everywhere you go, this is what they're doing in the organization. It might even be strategic secrets of the company. You have put it on social media. Oga, calm down. So wherever you are, tell yourself, calm down. Let's move on. Growth starts when you acknowledge that you need help. I almost forgot. I want to thank my wife. That woman is amazing. And this word help just reminded me. See, my wife is the most important, after God, though, person in this world to me. My wife. Because of the things that I do, I'm a pastor. There was time I used to travel every week from Lagos to Ibadan. That woman, not one day did she complain. My wife, I love you. You know already, but let me say it to the whole world. You know, I love you so much. Thank you. And she's probably here. You need help. Your own may not be a wife if you are not married or a husband. But I can tell you, you need help. You cannot start growth or growing if you do not acknowledge that you need help. And let me move quickly because I have just about 5 minutes left. You need checks and balances in your life. It says mentoring. We talked about the power of mentorship, guided growth. You need checks and balances. If you are somebody that you don't report to anybody, you are not for anybody, nobody can talk to you, nobody can put you on course, you will soon be like a misguided missile. You will destroy yourself and you will destroy other people, unfortunately, with you. So you need checks and balances. So let me just run quickly through some stories. Some of the mentors / coaches in my life. My dad, many years ago, I spent time in his room. I had the privilege of a dad that modeled the right behaviors. My dad, not for once did my dad raise his hand against my mom. Now, I'm sharing a personal experience, so I know people may have experienced something different, but this is personal to me. And in my relationship with my wife, because at times what we see is the way we act. In fact, not at times. The things that come, the way that the people act is a product of what they have meditated upon. And that is why people at times flip and you're wondering, why is this guy reacting? The images you have looked upon over and over again will influence you, whether you like it or not. And it will even go into your unconscious being that you will almost act without being conscious of acting. My dad. And then there's somebody called in my life, he's Pastor Tunde Ojo, is one of my uncles. He gave me my first job. And he was the one who even recommended to me that take the KPMG job. And I did an interview in his office and I passed the interview. He said, go Bukunmi, go to KPMG. Don't join my organization. KPMG will give you you have a better career prospect with KPMG. And almost 15 years, September 14, 2009, I joined. I will be marking 15 years in KPMG. Have I felt like living in the bad times? There are times where the pressure, but I'm glad that I stayed. The next person I will talk about is called Mr. Iyiola. When I served in Kaduna Network Center of Radio Nigeria, many years ago in 2008, he was the one who took me under his wings. I became, how do I put it now? I had so much value that I was bringing to the table that I was reviewing. So I was a journalist. I studied English language. So I would go out, record interviews and come out. My voice was heard all over Nigeria. My mom called me. Someone said, I heard your son's voice. This man was key to it. He trusted me. I will review news reports that established journalists would go and read and write. I will review. Mr. Iyiola, God bless you wherever you are. I have Mr. Lucky Sada. That was my performance manager for many years. I'm telling you this so that because I could have come and just tell you stories, even have slides, and all that nice slides. But I felt it's important to talk about the real issues. Mr. Lucky Sada. One thing that he told me that I never forgot, he was a performance manager for many years. He said, Bukunmi, in the journey of growth in career, I'm your manager. Your job is to make life easy for me. I never forgot that. I know that there's something that I said some time ago. To many will remember it. When I said, always pray for your boss. It's so important. But he said to me, your job is to make life easier for me. And I never forgot it. So I was committed to making life easier for him. He mentored me in that. That statement alone was a trigger for me to do more. And then my current engagement partner, Mrs. Unike on this fashion, is somebody that she's currently my boss. So every day I'm thinking, how do I make life easier for this person? And in one way or the other, she's mentoring me. She may not even know it directly, but I'm getting so much from that understanding that I need to make my boss shine. And then finally, my colleagues, some of who are here, they mentor me in various ways. And I've talked about that. Let me run quickly. I have just 2 minutes left. In the mentoring journey, you must humble yourself. The definition of pride is being full of yourself. If you are full of yourself, you will be like water that is kept in a place for a long time and you start stinking. If you are not giving out, you are not taking it, you are not giving out, you are full of yourself. In fact, another danger about being full of yourself is that there will be no space for you to take in anything. So even when people want to help you, because they see this guy don't fool, he's full. If somebody is full of food, then you can't take him more. You will become constipated. They say, let's help him. Let's just leave him to be going. So you have to be open. You have to be open. Wow, I have just 1 minute left. So I'll run through it. You have to be intentional and deliberate with clear goals in mind in the process of using mentoring as a launch pad for growth. You have to clearly identify what are the key things that I desire for myself. This could go into coaching also. And then mentoring and coaching is not an entitlement. Let me tell you, it is not an entitlement. So if you have a mentor that has time, don't take them for granted. It is not an entitlement. Don't take it for granted. There's something I need to say. I said I have so many notes. Time don't almost finish. But what I will say, before closing, because I have to close in a minute, is that as you go into a mentoring relationship interaction, you have to go in it with a values mindset. Don't go into it with a mindset of we want to take. So some people now, they go to someone, I want you to be my mentor. Oh, can you tell me this? Oh God, they will just shut down. Where are you coming from? Build a relationship. Show that you have value. I have a mentor, a mentee in this program. There's a book I recommended that she should read, Atomic Habits, and I would recommend that everyone reads it. And she was telling me some of the lessons in the book. I was like, this is the same book that I read. I said, I have to go and read this book again. Though. He was telling me stuff. So go to a mindset, a mental relationship with a mindset of bringing value. Time is up. But I'll finish. Give me 1 more minute and I'll be done. I have a mentee. Tosin Adegoke is his name. This guy came, to me after a session that I delivered. I delivered a presentation at an event, and he said he wanted me to mentor him. I said, okay, no problem. Do you know that I mentored this guy for over a year? And the first time I met him in person was at his wedding. He invited me to his wedding. He made me an officiating minister at his wedding. That's shocking. And as it might still be on this call. In closing, I will say this. Your mentor is there to guide you, but your mentor is not there to be responsible for the decisions that you make. You have to own your decisions and embrace it. Don't say, it is you that tell us to do it. Okay. Your mentor will guide you, but you will own the decisions and you will embrace it. My time is up. I look forward to the question and answer session, but I hope that you have found value in this. And I will just hand over the baton, maybe after our introduction, to Iyiola, who I can tell you for free will also share such great insights. Back to you, Tumininu.
Wow, woo! Hey, Pastor Bukunmi on the fleck. I don't even know how to say this. It's impossible for you to fall hand. I was just jotting and jotting like this is the first time I'm hearing mentorship. Thank you for all the
in 13 minutes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
ma.
much. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you for the privilege.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Please, can we see the emojis in the chat room? It will because of our time. And interestingly, this night is special. My name is kind of not very common. So this is one of the very few times that I'm co-anchoring with a namesake. So you have two Itulus on board. Itulu, please, can we quickly share please write down your questions so that you don't forget. We'll be taking the questions
Please,
after.
yes. Write down your questions. You have question and answer after. Thank you.
Yeah, please, can we have E's profile and we have a jump up on board?
I will just, yes, ma'am. Just give me a minute to share my screen, please. Somebody's sharing. Can you please stop sharing? I can't share.
No, you're the only person. No.
Okay. Okay, all right. Okay.
Iyiola Oyefeso is a general counsel and board advisor with 15 plus years of legal, compliance, and transactional experience. As a trusted advisor to executive leaders and boards, she provides legal and compliance support to organizations to achieve business growth and stability. In her current role as the group head legal services of AA&R Investment, she directs the legal team and oversees local and international commercial transactions, including joint ventures, corporate finance, acquisitions, and divestments. She is knowledgeable in business finance and has advised on acquisition transactions with total values exceeding millions of dollars. By overseeing contract negotiations and post-acquisition integrations, she guides executive leadership teams in ensuring cost optimization, risk management, and financial profitability. She is passionate about building the next generation of lawyers and regularly provide top leadership articles and mentorship for young legal professionals.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's have Iyi on board. My pretty sister. Hello, Iyi.
Thank you very much. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Always on fleck.
Thank you for having me. That was such an awesome session. I came to present to and to speak, but I should tell you that I had notes from Pastor Bukunmi's session. As in, that was very powerful and that was really nice. Just before I start, let me quickly, put it out there that I have a bit of an internet issue, but I have my phone here as well and I've connected. So just in case there's a problem with the connectivity, I will switch at some point. So I thought to mention that. I will move on swiftly to sharing my screen. Please let me know as soon as you can see it. Okay. All right. So please let me know as soon as you can see it.
Yes, it's
up
visible.
now.
Visible.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so my session will be a bit different. It will be presenting and of course sharing my personal experience as well. Today, just like Pastor Bukunmi had importance of mentorship, benefits of mentorship for mentors, getting the best out of mentorship. And then we'll move on to how to identify the right mentor. And then we can move on to the conclusion and questions and answers. And honestly, I feel that in terms of the definition of mentorship, I want to imagine that we already have, a number of us already know what the definition is, right? What I went through. I would say that mentorship is, a relationship between a more experienced and knowledgeable person who provides guidance and support to a less experienced and knowledgeable person. And, as Pastor Bukunmi was speaking, a few things came to mind. He had mentioned it, but I needed to point it out again. A lot of us look at mentorship and we're thinking it has to be someone who's older or maybe someone that is more senior. That doesn't necessarily have to be the case. If you have a goal that you're seeking to achieve, and the person and someone who can help you or guide you to achieving that goal, right? There's someone who can guide you towards achieving that goal, right? Has more. Let me take it back a bit. You have a goal that you're seeking to achieve, right? And there's someone that can guide you. That person doesn't necessarily have to be your senior. Neither does the person have to be someone who's your, what's it called, who's older than you in age, right? It could be your age mate, it could be your junior. As long as that person has more expertise or more experience than you do, right? That person can be your mentor. And I'll just take you back a bit to when I started my career many years ago. I started as a lawyer in a big law firm. If you're a lawyer on this call, I imagine that you would know how it can be when you start your career as a lawyer. Everything that you've learned in law school and even as an undergraduate almost seems new to you, right? When you start practicing, because it almost seems like there's still more for you to learn in order for you to be able to apply the things that you've learned from law school and from undergraduate days. So, I mean, I started my career just feeling very lost in the ocean, and just trying to find my way out of the situation. And unfortunately, at the time, there were very few. Mentorship wasn't as popular as it is right now. Now you hear a lot about mentorship. You find people who are starting out their careers looking for mentors and all of that. I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't even know that I could look for a mentor. And so what it was that I tried to sail through the entire experience, by myself, and navigated my career by myself. It seemed lonely, right? But eventually I got my way, I found my way around it, right? So my experience at that point in time told me and made me very passionate about helping other people. So while I understand the fact that a lot of mentorship, you don't have to be mentoring people that are younger than you are. I personally typically mentor younger lawyers or younger professionals. I feel that there's a lot of experience that I have, that I've gained over the years, that I can also give back. So I take mentorship very seriously, right? I take it as an act of service, right? And a way of giving back to people, to new professionals, to people who seek, my guidance and my support, right? So we'll take it away from here. I don't want to go into the very theoretical aspect of mentorship. We all know that mentorship can be formal and it can be informal as well, right? Let's move on to this. So again, a lot of the times you think about mentorship and in your mind, please tell me if you can still hear me clearly, because I just removed my second earphone so that I could hear myself speak.
Yes,
so
we
I just
can.
need that confirmation that you can
Yes,
hear
we
me.
can.
Right.
Yes, we
Okay,
can.
fantastic. So again, another interesting part of it, I'm so happy that Pastor Bukunmi spoke about this as he was speaking. He spoke about how he got promoted to the position of a manager, and he struggled a bit at that point in time. I started getting books and was looking for guidance. So the reality is that sometimes you actually think that the people that require mentorship are people that are in the early stages of their career. Nope. You could be an experienced professional and you could still require mentorship. What typically determines whether or not you require mentorship is when you desire to achieve a goal, right? So you desire to achieve a goal and you are looking for how best to achieve that goal. You want to go faster. You want to achieve that goal without meeting any pitfalls, right? You could possibly seek a mentor. So the main thing on this page is just letting you know that mentorship is not just for early stage professionals. It could also be for someone who is an experienced professional, right? Now, in terms of the role of a mentor, we all know this. I know that we've spoken at length about what a mentor should do. A mentor will provide support and guidance to their mentee, right? And would share knowledge and expertise. You probably have more experience, you have more expertise, you've done a lot more and you've had a lot more experience than that of other person that, has experience. So you are able to share all of that with, your mentee, right? Another thing that a mentor would typically do is to help you plan your career. So some people, what they would prefer to do is to get a mentor. They have where they're going to in terms of their career. They want to be ED in the next 5 years. They look for a mentor who is already an ED, or maybe in the next 2 years. They look for a mentor who has already achieved that goal, and they work with the mentor towards achieving, developing a plan and, working towards achieving the goal they're seeking to achieve. So a mentor would provide support and guidance, would share knowledge, and would help you in career development. So in terms of the importance of mentorship, we hear about mentorship a lot. This is my mentor, that's my mentor, I think you should have a mentor and all of that. Why is mentorship important? Why is it powerful? Why is it so important for us to have a mentor? The reality is that if you don't have a mentor, you may still, you would most likely still succeed in your career. But the difference between someone that has a mentor and one that doesn't have a mentor is that the one that has a mentor would enjoy the benefits of a mentor. All of the pitfalls that you would typically fall into, right, while you're trying to achieve your goals, with a mentor, your mentor is able to guide you and help you navigate your way so that you can achieve your goals, right? Something that someone who doesn't probably have a mentor would not be able to enjoy, right? So in actual fact, you can't succeed without a mentor, but you will move faster and achieve your goals if you have a mentor, right? And so I will go through a list of all the things that I've stated here in terms of the importance of having, a mentor. First being skills enhancement. I remember, I have a couple of mentees that I work with every now and then. And I've enjoyed working with them. Some of them work with me because they're looking to improve their soft skills. Others are just looking to improve their personal growth in terms of confidence. They're having issues with imposter syndrome. They're trying to determine whether or not, how they navigate their way as a leader. There's all of those things that they are seeking to achieve, and they're so they come to me because they know that I've experienced all of these things and I can help them navigate the issues that they are going through. So what a mentor would help you do, and it's interesting, not only do people also seek support to be able to enhance their soft skills, but also sometimes it could even be technical skills, right? So I have a mentee who reached out to me and said, I just got a role recently. I really feel like, well, I got the job, but I kind of feel that I don't know whether I'm doing the right thing, and I just need your guidance, right? So she reaches out to me from time to time, and even though we speak maybe once in a month or twice in a month, and I speak to her about various issues, some of the key issues that she would speak to me about or ask questions around are issues around what clauses should I insert in this contract? How do I negotiate this contract? How do I close out on these things, right? So again, the benefit of mentorship is to, beyond so many other things that I would list here, is to help you enhance your skills. So you will gain new skills, and you would also enhance the skill that you already have, right? Some other people, what I'm dealing with is the issues around their confidence. How do you exude executive presence when you sit at a meeting, right? How do you deal with imposter syndrome? A lot of people go through this, and then I begin to work with them towards, addressing these issues. Some people just don't know that they also need to show value, articulate their value within an organization. You can work within an organization and be working hard, but do your employers, the people that matter, do they know what you are doing? Are you able to articulate the work that you do in such a way that they see that it brings value to the organization? Or are you just working hard and typing away and hoping that one day people will notice you? In fact, let me give you an interesting experience I had a while back, which is the reason why I'm always very passionate about, speaking to my mentees about executive presence, showing confidence, articulating their value. Many years ago, I lost an opportunity to get promoted. And why did I lose that opportunity? It wasn't because I wasn't working hard. It wasn't because they were giving me tasks and I was not delivering in my task. But I wasn't just showing, maybe I wasn't showing the required confidence that I needed to show, right? And I wasn't also articulating my value. I wasn't showing them how the impact of the work that I was doing, aligned with the objectives of the organization. I wasn't showing executive presence, and maybe I was even dealing with imposter syndrome. So another lady who was able to show confidence, showed confidence, showed that even though I didn't think she was doing as much work as I was doing, but was able to show confidence, speak up at meetings, speak up at meetings and do a lot more than I was doing in terms of putting herself out there. Got promoted and I didn't get promoted. So sometimes it's good to work hard. And I would always say you need to work hard, deliver, well, maybe work smart as well. Deliver on your work, right? But be smart enough to know that as you are delivering on your work, you are also articulating your value. So these are some of the things that I speak to my mentees about. And these are the skills that they gain, right, from mentoring with me, right? So that's one of the importance of, mentorship. Another is career growth. Imagine someone that is now able to articulate their value, right? Is able to articulate their value, is able to, speak confidently, has executive presence, and is doing their work well, right? There is always a chance for a promotion and they may get promoted. So the question I want to ask you now is, do you want to achieve a particular career goal? And an efficient approach might be to get a mentor who has already attained the position. So in this case, career growth, right? Imagine that you want to, again, I gave the example earlier. In fact, I know of a lady who wanted to attain the position of a partner in a law firm. And what she did was to get a mentor who was a senior partner in another law firm. It has to be, for her, she thought that was a wise move to make, right? Because for her, she needed to get someone who had already walked that path so that it was faster for her to be able to attain the position, attain the position of a partner. And so she worked with this other senior lawyer in another law firm. And when the guy walked her through all of the strategies that she required to be able to attain that position, right? And, they worked through together for months, for maybe even years. I don't know exactly the period of time. But eventually she made partner. But what was more interesting was that out of all her peers, she was the first to make partner. Because unlike every other person that didn't get a mentor, right? She got a mentor that was able to show her the way and was able to show her that these are the things that you need to do to be able to get this position. These are the things that you need to avoid doing. These are the mistakes that I made that I don't want you to make. These are things you need to avoid doing so that you can achieve, this goal you're seeking to achieve, or this partnership position you're seeking to achieve. Another big important, another fantastic reason why you should get a mentor, or another importance of mentorship, is that it would expand your network. Beyond the fact that your mentor is now a part of your network, your mentor's network could possibly also be a part of your network. And my husband told me just last week, something about him going for, an event at a hotel, or I don't know, somewhere in DI. And one of the speakers there, after speaking, introduced, met someone within, I don't know if he went over to greet the speaker. And as he went over to greet the speaker, that's my husband, as my husband went over to greet the speaker, he noticed that the speaker was introducing his mentee, right, to a senior executive that his mentee had been seeking to meet for a while. And right there and then, they were talking about exchanging CVs, asking the mentee to send CVs and all of that. Now, I'm not saying that this would always happen in terms of you getting job opportunities and all of that. The first thing you need to do for that to happen is to show value. So I imagine that the reason why that could happen is because the mentee had shown value, right? Okay, this is what I can do. This is the value that I bring to my organization currently. And because he had shown that much value, the mentor trusted that even if I introduce you to my own network, you will deliver, right? You've shown, the mentee has shown value, has shown commitment, right, to that relationship. So right there and then, not only did the mentee have his mentor, right, as within his network, but again, he was introduced to a third party that is now within his network. So again, you would expand your network when you have a mentor, right? That's a fantastic importance of, that's a key importance of mentorship. Another is that it aids personal growth. And I'd spoken earlier about, how mentorship can improve your behavioral skills, confidence, your communication skills, your executive presence, and so many, and your leadership skills, so many other skills, right? Those skills that are improved would eventually result into your personal growth, right? Because you now have good leadership skills, you're communicating well, you have executive presence, you will grow as a person, as an individual. So it aids personal growth as well. Now, another importance of mentorship is that it keeps your mentees accountable and motivated. And what do I mean by this? You are a mentee that is seeking to achieve a goal, right? Because you are seeking to achieve a goal, one of the critical things that you need to do as a mentee, in fact, when I start, anytime that I get a mentee, well, the first thing I always ask them is, what do you want from this relationship? What is your goal? What are you seeking to achieve? And then they tell me their goal. Once they tell me their goal, I then now ask them, draw up an action plan, put a timeline to it. When they draw up their action plan and they put a timeline to it, it helps us to be able to move forward from there. And then I become their accountability partner, checking up on them and seeing that they're doing what it is that they're supposed to do at the right time. So a very good importance or key, what's it called? One of the key importance of mentorship is that it makes mentees accountable and also motivated. And of course, so there are some times when they feel as if, what's it called? They feel like they can't handle, they feel demotivated, they feel stressed out. I motivate them, I encourage them. So because they have a mentor that is working with them, they feel a need. Not only do they even feel a need, they don't, because they have someone that is an accountability partner that they need to always report to. They always would have to do what they need to do at the right time for the people that are committed. So it keeps your mentee accountable and motivated. Another is that it provides a support system. A mentee is looking for, as a mentee, when you're going through issues, right? You've drawn up your plan, your action plan with your mentor, and you've met a roadblock. It's your mentor you are probably going to go back to and speak to about, the issues that you're going through. And it could even just be issues at the workplace that you're going through and you need advice on, how to handle it, because your mentor already has extensive experience in, all of those, office issues. They're able to, advise you on what to do and what not to do. Again, I already spoke before about expanding, network. Another importance of mentorship will be stimulating creativity. And I added this here because, again, it's a life experience that I've experienced from mentoring my mentees, right? There's a way that mentorship can help your mentees stimulate creativity and make them innovative. I had a mentee who's looking for a job, right? And it almost seemed like almost all the doors were closed against her. And one thing she told me was, you know what? As I was advising her and speaking to her about things that she needed to do, she was like, you know what? I think what I need to do is to contact the organization that turned me down, because I really want to work with them and I need them to see the value that I can provide. I'm going to contact them and I'm going to ask them if I could work for them free of charge, pro bono, since I'm not really doing much, right? I'm going to work with them and see, I'm going to speak to them and see how I can work with them pro bono. Maybe when they see my value, they would want to engage me. I thought that was very creative. And this came as a result of us speaking and me, giving her advice and all of that. So yes, mentorship also stimulates creativity, right? I'm going to move on swiftly because I'm having issues with my computer. The power, anyway, I can use my phone if anything happens to my computer. The only issue will be my slides. Okay, so we'll move on swiftly. I don't know if I would find a way of sending it over to one of the team members so that if anything happens to my computer, we can still move on. Now, in terms of the benefits of mentorship for mentors, now I've spoken about the importance of mentorship, and a lot of it is skewed towards how it benefits the mentees. But for mentors, there's also benefits for the mentors as well. For me personally, I see it as a sense of personal satisfaction. I love it when I see that I can impact knowledge on someone. I love it when I can positively impact someone. I love it when I just see that someone who's come with a problem, I'm able to help them solve their problem, right? So for me personally, right, it gives me personal satisfaction to be able to mentor people. Some other people, it's that it improves their leadership skills. They now have the opportunity of leading people. Others, it is that they can now articulate themselves and communicate better. Others, it could be that they receive fresh perspectives from their mentees. So like Pastor Bukunmi said earlier, sometimes you learn from your mentees as well, right? It's not just about the mentors giving their opinion. It is also about the mentees. It's also about the mentees also sharing that you, as a mentor, you also listening to what your mentee has to say and learning fresh perspectives from your mentees, right? And then, of course, the next thing here, the next benefit for mentors is that it helps you stay current. And how does it help you stay current? Because you have a mentee that you are constantly speaking to, right? A mentee that you are constantly sharing knowledge with, particularly if it is a mentee that works within your industry. You certainly want to be on top of your game. You want to know what is happening within the industry and to be able to, advise and, speak to, and to be able to advise her or him, whoever it is, the person is the mentee, on the industry trends, right? So you would need to stay current to be able to do that, isn't it? Now, more benefits of mentorship for mentors. Again, just like with the mentees, it helps mentors to be able to expand their network and to strengthen relationships with third parties. So you have a mentee, your mentee is now part of your network, right? And you can even strengthen your relationship with your mentee. So you can go beyond mentee-mentor relationship. You can have an extended, yes, it's always important for you to keep it professional and to keep your boundaries. But I've also seen people who their mentees become their aburos or their friends and all of that. And they actually grow to being friends or family friends, right? Another
Hello. Hello,
My
can you?
sincere apologies.
Okay,
I knew
yes.
this was going to happen, but I'm on it. Please give me a moment to bring it back up.
Okay, so while we are waiting for her, let's just do a recap. I'm seeing some making sense in the chat room. Can we see what has really stood out for you in the presentation so far, talking about mentorship, mentoring, and advantages of mentoring? You know, one of the things hello, Itunu, are you here? Let's do this together.
Yes, ma'am, here.
Welcome. While we're waiting for E. One of the things I tell people is if I have to do life all over again, I would get a mentor early. If I'd known the advantage of mentoring, while Pastor Bukunmi was speaking, he's used Christian or a Bible example, Rehoboam, which is interesting because Rehoboam is supposedly to have been birthed by the wisest man that's ever lived, Solomon. But because he took advice from his peers, he ended up with the most stupid decision ever and literally lost his inheritance. The tribe of Israel moved from 12 to 2 in his hands. And when I look at myself when I was younger, and this is very key because you might look to yourself, I hear people say, no, me, I don't believe in mentoring. Me, I don't do mentoring. It's a big fat lie. It's either you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. And it is something that is best done consciously. Every day, because we're people of influence, we are being influenced by other people, either you like it or not. I tell people that the decision you think you are making, you are not the one making that decision. No. It's what people have said into your life that is forming the basis of the decision. And let me shake a bit of table now. There's so much going on about Japa, movement, and all of that. And growth is good. But the question is, a lot of people that are taking decisions, not just a lot of people that are taking decisions, all of us, the decisions that we are taking, what is informing those decisions? If somebody said that, somebody said that, somebody said that, I saw this thing on somebody's status, I saw this thing, Pastor Bukunmi spoke about that, social media information. And that is what is mentoring a number of us. Nobody is sitting down, not nobody, but most people are not sitting down to actually be structured and deliberate about mentoring. That I come to Itunu Jik and I say, Itunu, this is my 5-year plan. This is my 10-year plan. I have looked at you. I can see that this is a path you've navigated through. Can you help me? I have a senior colleague and, just to buttress, I like to use real life scenarios to buttress things. She's somebody I respect so much. She and her husband, very learned and everything. And my husband and I, we went visiting. And she went like, oh, I was speaking to my marriage mentor. And as at that point, she had been married for 19 years. I looked at her. Me, I've just been married for 12 years. I said, Ma, you've been married for 19 years and you still have a marriage mentor. She said, have I raised a teenage child before? My children are just coming into a new phase in their life. I and my husband, we are coming into a different phase in our lives. I need guidance. And that's what Bukunmi was saying about humility. You must be humble enough to know that you don't know everything. Your name is not Yahweh. You are not almighty. Which area in your life after this Transcend Summit would you be looking at to get people that would guide you? People that would make you, I see people stagnated, and it equally happened to me. I was stagnated on a particular path for years because I did not know better. If I'd known what I know now that I had now, what am I spending 3 years to do? So please, this is all about, and that's why we are making it very practical. I think Iyi is still having issues. So can we have our panelists coming? So
also, I'll just
okay?
add to what Coach has said. Sometimes we think that mentorship is just about like face-to-face or physically sitting with somebody. Sometimes even books, we can get mentorship through books that we read. You can actually like read other people's lives and see how they've navigated the path that you are on. There's so many books out there. You can actually be mentored by those things, listening to ebooks, listening to messages, podcasts, and it doesn't necessarily always have to be like, okay, physically having to go and sit with someone. While it's always good to have a one-on-one, you can actually learn mentorship even from books, podcasts, and just, taking in information that is healthy into your mind. Just the same way social media can corrupt. If you listen to nonsense on social media, it can corrupt your mind. If you actually listen to positive things, it can also help you to grow and, like move in the right direction.
Thank you so much for adding that. I always say that this is the best time to be alive, because this is when information, there's been no generation where information has been so easily accessible as this time. And I actually have a personal experience to buttress what you say. There's a man I respect so much. So we've spoken a bit about vision goals. There must be people you are looking up to. So if you want to be like Elon Musk, for instance, it's very easy. No, that's the truth. Go and start checking his path. And even when you look at Elon Musk, there are people that shaped his life. So there is this man I respect so much. I started listening to him. In fact, he does not know that I exist. Your mentors don't have to know that you exist. As Bubi said, it doesn't have to be one-on-one. And when I was listening to one of his talks, he now mentioned there that, oh, there is this other man that is not even alive now that formed and shaped his pattern. I went straight on the internet. Thank God, God bless internet. The people that created this internet, God is blessing you. I went straight and started following the man. Straight. I got his books. I listened to his speeches. So your mentors, so to say, does not even have to still be alive. Books. One of my best book, let me speak my daughter's English. One of my bestest book ever is Richest Man in Babylon. That book is 100 years today. I recommend, if you come for my mentorship, it's one of the first books you must read.
Okay.
Because the principle, okay, you're back. We're just like,
I'm back, and I've just sent you my slides. The devil is a liar, right? As usual. I can't even begin to explain what's going on here, but I'm going to use my phone, and I would appreciate if someone can please.
Okay, we're even almost delving into the... Hello, are you still there? We're about to jump.
I'm here, please.
Okay,
I'm
we're
here.
about to jump into the panelist session. So we have some 7 more minutes. Then we just quickly go to the panel session so that we can have...
That's
Can you see my slide?
Yes, I can.
I'm on slide 9. So is this the right place? Just tell me when to move.
Please go down. I believe I've spoken about this, and I believe I was here. No. I was at the previous slide. I was done with that. We can move on swiftly to getting the best out of your mentorship.
Okay,
right? And I know that yes, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Okay. So, I mean, we've spoken at length about mentorship, the importance of mentorship. I spoke about all of those things. But one thing that we still need to speak about is how you can get the best out of your mentorship relationship, right? A lot of people will run to you and say they want to make you their mentor. They want to, they want to make you their mentor, right? But
is it me? Have we lost her again?
Yeah, you're muted. We can't hear you anymore.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So one of the things that you need to do as a mentee, right, to get the best out of your mentorship relationship is to have clear goals. It's not enough for you to run to someone and say, "Oh, can you be my mentor?" What do you want to achieve? What are you seeking to achieve? Do you want to move up the career ladder? Are you seeking to get a new skill that can help you advance in your career, or can, help you with your personal growth? What exactly are you seeking to do? That has to be clear, and that has to be clearly communicated to your mentor, because everything that you're going to do afterwards will ride on what your goals are. So they have to be clear. Now, again, another thing that you have to show is commitment. A lot of people will be excited to have mentors, and in the beginning, "Oh, can you be my mentor? Can you be my mentor?" But they're not showing commitment, right?
they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They give you a task and you're not executing the task as at when due. You're not even taking initiative, to do certain things. Like you have a meeting, you're not taking the initiative to send meeting invites or to request for a meeting or to even ask for feedback, right? You need to show a level of commitment to your mentor, right? You can't just go for a while, disappear, and then resurface at some point. You need to be consistent, right? I move on swiftly to the next one. A lot of people would think that having a mentor, right, is just, all they want to do is to just take value from the mentor. How about what do you want to give to your mentor, right? What value are you providing to your mentor, right? It has to be mutual. It's not always about what you can take from the relationship, because honestly, the mentee, and it could be anything. Think about what skill that you have that can be beneficial to your mentor. Sometimes it could be just that short thank you note. It could be giving recommendations on LinkedIn. Oh, this person is my mentor. This is how she has impacted me positively. Those kind of things. In fact, sometimes it could even be speaking about your mentor in rooms where he or she is not able to speak about them. You have the opportunity to do that, and you do it. So it's not just about the value that you want to get from your mentor. How about the value that your mentor can get from you as well? You have to think about that relationship as a mutually beneficial relationship. The next will be, once you get reflecting and acting on the advice that you get from your mentor. Now, your mentor has advised you. You don't have to take it hook, line, and sinker, right? But sometimes, wait, reflect on it, think about it, right? And then develop. If you disagree with it initially, you can discuss it with your mentor, right? But be sure that both of you are on the same page. But as soon as you agree with what your mentor has said, and there are action points for you to work on as a result of that advice, you need to act on it. Your mentor cannot advise you to do something and you go and sleep on it. It doesn't work that way. You have to act on it, because a mentor will feel more fulfilled. It's not about me speaking and advising a mentee. It is about me speaking and advising a mentee and me seeing the positive impact on that mentee's life. And the only way I can see it is that if that mentee acts. If that mentee does not act, there's no way that I can feel a sense of fulfillment, right? And there's no way that we can even see that to see in the career of the mentee, right? Then you need to be able to communicate effectively, right? Speak, even if you can. It's possible that you have only monthly meetings, but how about sending updates about your progress, right? What you asked me to do, this is how far I've done it. These are the challenges I'm facing. Don't wait until the next date of your meeting before you talk about your challenges. You can drop your mentor a message and say, oh, these are the challenges I'm facing. How can I address them? So that by the next date, you are speaking about the progress that you have achieved, from your last meeting, right? Then seek feedback on your relationship. Are there things that I need to do better? How do you think that I can be a better mentee so that I can get the best off of you, as my mentor, and vice versa, right? Then be open to constructive feedback. Your mentor may or may not give you feedback, and I imagine that your mentor should be able to give you feedback, constructive feedback. I love feedback because that's the only way I can grow. Right. That's the only way I can be a better person. Right. Some people, they give them feedback and they don't receive it well. You should be able to receive constructive feedback well, because that is what will help you grow. That way you can address the issues and be a better person. Right. Another is, when you are going for a meeting, when you've scheduled a meeting with your mentor, don't just go into the meeting waiting for what your mentor will deliver to you. Have an agenda of what the meeting will be like. Prepare your questions so that you're not wasting your mentor's time, right? That's very, very important. Your mentor will see you as someone that is serious. Next slide, please. Now, how to identify the right mentor. So we're done with how you can get the best out of your mentorship relationship. And this is pretty much the last slide. How do you identify the right mentor? It is not just important for you to get a mentor. It is also very important for you to identify the right person. How do you do that? You ask yourself, what am I seeking to achieve? It still goes back to your goal. What is the goal that I'm seeking to achieve? Reflect on it and be very clear on it. Once you are clear on that, look for people who have the relevant experience. So case in point, I feel that in 2 years' time, I want to be an executive director. Look for someone who has already attained that position that can guide you towards achieving that goal, that can help you avoid pitfalls that he has already avoided, or no, he has already come across while trying to achieve that goal. Look for someone like that. Look for someone with a track record that is good. You know, he has a proven track record of him being able to achieve things. Obviously, I don't expect that you would go to someone that you haven't seen their level of achievement, right? That they've done certain things, and that is what that is what inspires you to want them to be your mentor, right? Another is that you also need to consider the availability of the person. Yes, the person might have the right experience. Yes, you might be very clear on what your goals are, but is the person available? If the person is not available, you might as well just avoid picking that person as your mentor, because you may not get what you want. As long as the person is available once a month, that's still okay. But when the person is not available, then you may not get the benefit that you're seeking from that relationship. So you may want to consider whether or not you want that relationship. Another thing that you want to do is to consider the mentoring style. Some people will teach you, I told you about the fact that I have a mentee that even as it relates to the clauses that she puts in our agreement, I will teach her and explain to her. I will explain to her legal concept. With her, I'm holding her hands, right? So you want to consider what kind of mentoring style you want. Do you want someone to hold your hand, or do you just want someone that would give you advice and then you just go and implement? You need to decide what you want. And all of this knowing your goal would enable you to determine your kind of mentoring style, the kind of mentoring style that you want. Another is your value compatibility. Do your values align? It is so important to know that if your values don't align, I don't think that you should be going for a mentor whose values do not align with yours, right? And then the next will be to evaluate their network. For people who are looking to expand their own network, right, who are looking to get opportunities from the network that they make, right, it might be good for you to consider whether or not your mentor has, the required network for you to be able to benefit from, if that's what you want, right? Again, it goes back to your goal. What are you seeking to achieve? Next slide, please. So in conclusion, and so those are all my points from, the things that you look out from getting a mentor. In conclusion, mentorship is a powerful tool for career advancement, for personal growth, and for entrepreneurial success and goal achievement. A lot of the things that I said along the lines of the importance of mentorship, it ties to career advancement, it ties to personal growth, it ties to you being able to succeed as an entrepreneur and being able to achieve your goal, right? And if carried out effectively, that's mentorship now, it can make the journey to your goal faster and less stressful or painful. Thank you, everyone. And I apologize for the break in transmission and all of the issues that happened during the presentation. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Please, can we give our flowers in the chat room? Let's give our flowers. That was amazing.
What an amazing presentation, like down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah. We've had
much,
it both ways. We had Pastor Bukunmi with his style. We now had E. Now, please, I hope we're having our questions. Before we jump into the questions, you've heard both Pastor Bukunmi E were part of our mentors in the READ cohort 3, and we cannot thank them enough. Part of what we do in the READ community is that we connect mentees with mentors. So that's another story. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about it if we have time. But please, we want some of our mentees to come online, real people, real stories, as I love to say. So Victory, please, can you turn on your camera? Chidima, Susan, can you turn on your camera? Aha, see Chidima. Chidima, rename yourself now. Which ones? Rename yourself.
Yes,
I've been
please.
trying to do that, but I've been unable to.
Okay, let me see if I can do that for you. Okay, these are just few of us. This is not all of us. So, but for the sake of time, we just want to keep it practical. And I'm starting with my beautiful co-host, because interestingly, she is one of the mentees in the this particular course that just finished. So tell me,
Yes,
how,
yes,
or tell
yes.
us, it's not just me. You are telling, tell us. How was your experience? What are the critical takeaways? What do you think about the mentoring experience? Is this something that is overhyped?
Wow, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, because of this is like my second time in the mentoring with mentorship in Read. So, my first mentor that I had last year, we're still best of friends up until now. I still reach out to her. She still checks in on me. She's still dropping me books to read, links to check out, podcasts to go to. So for me, I take the mentorship. I like, everything they've said here is just the absolute truth. It's not, it's a relationship, it's a network. It builds your network, and it's a relationship that is it's not, it doesn't end like, okay, maybe you say you want to have a 3 month mentorship and then say after that 3 months it ends. Except, those mentors, anybody that takes their time to be a mentor, trust me, they are kind of like just invested in your life. And then before you know what, they are basically like, constantly dropping nuggets and just giving you small information. Like they are just constantly dropping nuggets into your life. And even if it's just nothing else, even if they don't, literally like this awesome person that I introduced is mentee to a network, and then person actually, give him like a job. Even if they don't do that for you, the value that they drop in your life, I think it just, if you take it to heart, if you actually follow what they are telling you to do, because like we said at the beginning, you can have all the knowledge. If you don't act on it, then it's basically just wasted. Because he said during our presentation, I think was it Iyiola, I can't remember what Bukunmi said. The mentor is just going to give you, the what you need, but you have to own it. If you don't own the information, if you don't own the growth, if you don't own the process, you're on your own. And so for me, this last mentorship, I had a very amazing person, Mr. Alex. As in, I don't understand. From the beginning, he told me, say, no, this is not mentorship. This one is not, I'm here, you're there. No, this one, we are friends. We are learning from each other and everything. And for me, that was like, it was very down to earth. It was very relatable. And the one thing that I took away from our session, we still have sessions. We have sessions lined up for till the end of the year. Our mentorship has not ended. But one thing that I took away from that, one thing that one of the biggest things that he has helped me do was to break down, those goals into measurable, little measurable pieces that you can actually track. So at the beginning, he made me write like this 5-year plan thing, and then we took it down to the nitty-gritty. Okay, so now you have this plan. How do you intend to? And then we now brought it down to 1 year, and then we brought it down to, like, okay, what is, so we put timelines to everything, and it was really good because I could see the big picture, but when we had those conversations, and then he helped me to see the little, the steps, step A to B to C to D. I didn't see it like that. And it really opened up my eyes to like, okay, there's more to this than just, okay, this is where I'm going to. How do you get there? Like, what are every single step? And when I say every single step, is telling me, okay, write down which which course you want to take, like as deep as that. And I'm so grateful because that, I mean, for me, like I said, really, those relationships are very valuable to me. I know that I can drop him a message and he would actually like respond. I know that, is available to help me, but then I also know that he is here to just guide me, and mine is to take the information and then run with it. So it was good for me. Like I said, my own mentorship has not ended. It's still going on. So just thank you, coach, for constantly introducing into our space, like high value people that's really make a difference in our lives. I won't lie, like I've seen things I need to do, and I've actually started doing those things. I've started taking action on those things, and it's making a huge difference for me. So yes, mentorship, it is not overrated at all, at all, at all.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you. You know, while you were speaking, that was when this jumped at me, and I was like, let me just put it. We have lots of Africans in diaspora now. Power of technology was what she was speaking that I remember that, see, all the mentors Itunu has are actually not based in Nigeria. The first mentor is based in the US. The second one is based in Canada.
That's so true.
Really, with technology right now, you want to be a global citizen, then it just makes sense to have people that have a wider knowledge. You cannot come and use, please forgive me, I'm not dicing anybody, but a local government chairman cannot be your mentor when you want to be a global citizen. I'm sorry, there's nothing wrong with being, but if that's your focus, Iyi was speaking about goals, like you just have to do it. That was amazing, and kudos, you are breaking this network thing. Chidima, can we have you? Chidima was, let me just let the cat out of the bag. The mentee and the mentor are here together. Chidima was one of Pastor Bukunmi's mentees, sorry. Chidima, can we have your experience?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I would say it's been a wonderful experience, joining Reed, and when they talked about the mentorship session, it was something I was really, really looking up to. So I made sure I attended all the classes because I really I like to see things through to the end. And then when the mentorship session came and I was spared, I was skeptical. I was like, would this person understand? It's something I've not really had a formal mentorship session prior to this one. Yes, I've had other things, form of mentorship, but not one-on-one kind of, the way we had it. And, our first meeting, I was really excited. So when I got the name, I just went to LinkedIn and I checked it out first. I said, let me even know the person that I was paired with. So I saw his profile. Apparently, he had spoken at one other event. So the name clicked. I think there was a program where he talked about, making money through work and all, I think something about 9 to 5 and all. So I'd heard him before, but I wanted to even know him more. So I went to LinkedIn, check out his profile. Oh, and interestingly, he works at KPMG. And so I said, okay, there's a melting point. There's a point where we can relate on the same level. And speaking to him, I saw someone that has a wealth of knowledge, that is just available for, to tap. And, scheduling meetings. I know he's a very, very busy person, but, he was able to make out time to, listen, give advice here and there to say, okay, this is what you need to do. I poured out, I'm somebody that has, several things you want to do. So it was just, say, calm down, you need to make sure you structure yourself. And for me, it was, a timely thing because most of the advice he has given, I have put it into practice. It's something, and like he said, it's not one-off, like in 3 months. So it's something that you need to give time. And I'm happy that, the Read community allows us to extend the relationship further. So it's something that someone that you always want to have in your network, because there are a lot of things that you need to learn from him. And for me, it's very, very valuable. I hope to learn more. So, Pastor Bukunmi, I'm going to be harassing you. Sometimes, I really appreciate the access that was given because not everybody would just open their doors to, give you from their wealth of knowledge. Like they said, knowledge is priceless. And a lot of people have gone through a lot to get the knowledge that they have. So for someone to just share it with you and then want to see you, grow and be better, it's something that is really, I don't take for granted at all. And, we're writing some books. And I think there were 2 books he had recommended, Atomic Habits and 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I think it's one of the books we've even read in the Read community, the 7 Habits. So I just went to get, I'm more of someone that likes physical copies. So I just went to get those books. I said, I must read it. I must have something to say. I don't want to come to a meeting where the mentor is only the one that is speaking. And I don't have anything to say. So I went to get my books and I read, even if it was 2 chapters, I had to come, say the little I knew. And then I was really happy that he, listened to me. And he also offered a lot of solutions to, present problem. For me, it was very, very practical because, there are ongoing situations that you just want to have, a direction, and somebody just brings a word, and it's spot on. And for me, that is the most important thing, for me, that I'm getting direction in the places where I need it. And I know that, very, very grateful to the Read community. I must say, Coach Tuminu, it's a very wonderful thing you do. And I'm really, really happy I met, the team and then came across, because I wouldn't have met my mentor or, even all the other things that I, experienced in the group. So for me, I'm really, really grateful, and I look forward to more engagements. I know because Pastor Bukunmi has sent me a chat. I really, really look forward to more engagement. In fact, if I can even have it for a lifetime, it will be wonderful. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Chidima. That's amazing. Victory, can we have you? Is Victory here? Victory, can we have your experience? Hello, Victory.
Hello,
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah, so my name is Victor Adebanjo. I don't think we did this mentorship thing when I started read. We were the first people that started read. Hello, people. Yeah, so I'm happy it's now inculcating mentorship, but I'm part of the private mentorship with Coach Tim. Coach Tim, please. Thank you so much. The Springboard mentorship has been, it's been, my God, it's been transforming. Like I'm a totally different person, and it's still a work in progress, right? So initially, I had this mindset of perfection, but when I now know that perfection is a myth, your whole existence is to keep getting better, and you don't need to wait to be perfect to start. So about mentorship, before I go to Springboard mentorship, Coach T was my first mentor, a very informal mentorship. I walked up to her personally and I told her, I want you to be my mentor. And it's been an amazing experience.
Victory's network is showing us. And I was smiling just as I called her up. Okay, Susan, let's have you while Victory is getting her network up.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
But let me just say this about Victory while you're getting in. So Victory is saying, I'm a first informal mentor. Victory is my first, will I say formal or informal mentee. I just started speaking then, and I remember having a privilege to speak to youth. And when I finished speaking, she walked up to me and she's like, Ma, I want you to mentor me. And I looked at her like, I'm just trying to find my feet. Who is this babe? And it's 6-7 years later, I can say we are literally family. Like, we are literally family. I just wanted to put that out there. So mentoring relationship, it doesn't always go that way, but it can go that way. We've grown together. It's been amazing knowing Victory. Thank you. So Susan, let's hear your experience.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. So my mentorship experience has been, am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so it's been a wonderful experience for me. This is my second time
going through the Read mentorship program. Both my mentors were, the first one was in the UK, and my present mentor, Mr. Buyega, is in Canada. So the first thing I noticed was that I was paired with unique people. And I would first of all like to thank Coach and the team for the pairing was super accurate. It felt like as if, okay, they looked at each individual, looked at the capacity, looked at what they wanted to achieve, and then they paired them with mentors who would help them reach those goals. And that's what it felt like for me. So first off, my mentor is a man, and I think I had that mindset that, okay, would he kind of relate with me? I'm like, okay, does he know what I struggle with? He's a man, I'm a woman. How do we? But I think having that mindset, the first conversation, in fact, it just crushed and crashed that mindset immediately. Because first of all, I think what even got me so attached to him was the fact that he was very vulnerable. And I think most times when it's people who are up there or who you want to look up to, when it's like you see them as, okay, they're up there, they don't make mistakes and all that. But this one, he was super vulnerable, shared with me his mistakes and everything. And it just made me feel like, okay, I'm in a safe place. This man understands what I'm talking about. So first off, he gave me tasks that were very applicable. They helped me to understand where I was at. And I could see that, okay, I had some sort of ambiguous goals. I had not really put them into perspective. I had not broken them down, so having these sessions, he would, in fact, because of the time difference, he would have to schedule some meetings at his free time, even, all those things he did, it showed me that he was super committed to the program. And it just made me see how much of a blessing it was to have this mentorship sessions. In fact, at some point, he would even call, so first thing first was, I wanted someone who understood my values personally, even as a believer. So it was like he was paired super correctly. He would call me up, okay, see, this is, what are your fears? And the fact that he could ask me those questions without any sort of judgment, okay, what mistakes have you made? I could just be so open. And I was like, I can share my whole life secrets with this man. And I'm not ashamed. I'm not feeling like as if, this is a complete stranger. It didn't feel that way. So it's been an incredible 3 months. In fact, it's more or less like he's more than a mentor right now. We communicate more frequently than we should, and I give him feedback regularly, and it's just been amazing. I think one of the major things that he helped me do was to look inward, look at my network, and try to leverage on the network I have. I know I was like, okay, I have a couple of people, I know a couple of people, and I see that they're doing great things. But it was like, why not, you intend to do a couple of things, why not speak to them? They could maybe connect with some people. And I took his advice, I just did that. And because of just that one event, I got connected with a former colleague, and I got to do some projects for her. And it's going on the international community. And I'm like, okay, I would never have even thought that I could achieve this, and as he was talking about spurring creativity in your mentees, he has been able to spur a lot of creativity. I see things differently, and it's really been amazing. I want to say thank you. Thank you for doing what you do, Coach. Thank you for my mentor. Thank you for pairing me with him. It's been an amazing experience, and I'm super grateful. I know that it doesn't stop here. I see one other thing is the fact that I know that mentioned about getting books and listening to podcasts and the rest to get mentorship. But one thing that this program does is that it's a one-on-one. So it addresses individual challenges, issues, so it's very individual. And I feel it's so, because it's so detailed, it hits the nail on the head, and it addresses, and people get better, people improve. So I say kudos. In fact, good job, Ma. Thank you so much for this program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. I'm dropping the link for Read Cohort 4 in the chat. If you know anybody, the Read coaching program is absolutely free. No 1 naira. Everybody that is speaking, we didn't charge 1 naira for it. All the mentors are actually doing their payback to the society. So you've heard Susan say our first mentor was based in the UK. The second one is in Canada. We are a global community. The internet especially has made the world, made us more connected than we are. So it's easier to be global citizens now. It's easier to be less myopic. You don't have to be stuck in your village. You can understand international best practice. You can be the best where you are. And if you think you want to move, you have the right support to move. Victory, I don't know if you've worked on your network, or we can just move to the questions and answers. I want us to be out of here in the next 10 minutes max. 10 minutes max because of people's time. Tomorrow is Monday. Okay, so we have a question, and Iyi, I think this is going to you. Please, can you drop your questions in the chat room? I actually brought in the mentees to speak about their experience so that it's not ambiguous. The mentors have spoken so much, but you might have found it difficult to connect with them. Like, you guys are industry leaders. But for every mentor, trust me, they are mentees. All of us are at different stages. I have my mentors. Like, in fact, I'm writing the names. There's something I want to achieve, and I've already written down the people that would help me. So now, E, this is to you. Thank you, Ma, for the captivating delivery. Could you please elaborate with scenarios on how we can effectively articulate our values? In fact, I think both people should take it. But let's have you first.
Yeah. Okay. So with the example, I'm a general counsel. On a day-to-day basis, I provide legal advice. I review contracts, right? And I can just tell anybody that I review contracts and provide legal advice. I'm not really saying much about the value that I bring to my organization. However, if I say that I help my organization save costs and maximize their profits, right? Now I am showing the value that I bring to the organization. Or when I say, oh, I help them manage, identify, and manage their risks, I am showing value. So you need to be able to tie what you do to how it helps the organization achieve its goal, right? And in most organizations, they want to increase their revenue, they want to maximize profits, they want to, have introduce cost-efficient initiatives that will help them manage their costs, right? So you need to be able to say how all of the things that you do as a professional in that organization helps your organization to achieve its goal. Now, another way, that's one point. Now, the point is, now when you've now finally understood how to articulate your value, who are you telling it to? The people that matter, right? And you will say it in such a way that you don't sound boastful. I'm speaking to my line manager who is in charge of promoting me within the organization and who's very high up there within the organization. And I'm saying, oh yeah, I've looked at the agreement. I saw a couple of clauses that I didn't think would make me feel good, that I thought would make us expend more money. And so I modified the clause, or I took out the clause because I thought it was important for us to save costs. That way, we'll be able to make more money or maximize our profit from this transaction. First of all, I've communicated what I've done to my boss, right, who I know that is a decision maker within the organization. And I didn't just say that I reviewed the contract. I told him how the reviewing of the contract has helped him as a person to move closer to help him as a person to move the organization towards achieving its goals, because it's the COO, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's how to articulate your value, and that's how to also speak about your value. You say it in such a way, almost like you are humble, like you're just passing a message across, but they get the message. And whoever it is you are talking to, you need to speak in the language that they understand. So if you are speaking that they want to hear, so if you are speaking to your COO, or your CEO who wants to make profits, who wants to make profits, right? You are speaking in the language that he wants to hear, right? So that's how to articulate your value, and that's how to communicate it as well. Okay, so that's it.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
E. I was really hoping E's mentee could not make it today. She was supposed to be part of this, but she had another engagement. So let me just put this there. E's mentee, somebody that is very dear to me that I've tried to mentor. But for some reasons, you know, it's not everybody that you people will just click like that. We are very close, oh. But when I try to mentor her career-wise and all of that, she just felt like I didn't get her, like me, get her. And when we connected her to E, she was like, wow, thank you. I did this, I did that, I did that. But I said, that's exactly what I've been trying to tell you to do. She said, you didn't understand me the way she understood me. I could connect with her. We are same. And I'm like, okay. The most important part is that, and I realized that the divide was, she felt like I couldn't feel her weakness. Like she felt like I had it all together. I didn't understand her fears. You heard Susan talk about she could connect with her mentor because like we're on the same level. So I've told you that before. I just want to say thank you. She's doing amazingly well in her career. She's breaking the limits I've always wanted her to break. And I'm super, super proud of her. Pastor Bukunmi, your hand is up.
Yeah.
So please, while you are adding
Pastor
to that
Bukunmi has his
answer.
hand up.
Hello, Pastor Bukunmi, your hand is up. Why you are adding to that
Yes.
answer? Because I'm already looking at these questions. People are coming with fire today. You will add this second one to it because this question is hot. Thank you, Muiwa. Muiwa is asking, at what point is it advisable for a mentee to detach from an obviously, the obviously is in capital letter, bolded, from an obviously siphoning mentor who is also giving value? So I wanted to give you that question. So while you're at it, just answer that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. I mean, it's been such a day of insight. And thanks to everyone who has stayed on. I've been looking at the numbers. I think we've had almost close to 70, no more. And other people joining on Facebook. So thanks for those who have decided to still stay on. I'm sure we'll be done before 8:30. So I wanted to approach the value articulation question slightly differently because of my personal experience also. What Iyiola said is very on point. But I want to just build on that and add to that to say that in articulating your value also, in addition to what is said, what is also unsaid is important. For example, there's an opportunity to volunteer to do stuff in the office and you are always running away. You just want to do your work. And this is so instructive because so I'm in a process currently in my career. I'm in a process. Let me just code it. I'm in a process. And one of the things that will take me to the next level, quote and unquote, is my ability or a write-up about things I've done over the years. Do you know what shocked me? I looked at it. I looked at the form. I said, so some of the things that you would do, because over the course of my career, I could just see a mail. They put me on committee. You know, this committee, my profile didn't really talk about some of the things I do. And I was just smiling that I've done all sorts of almost ridiculous things. At times, I'm in 5 different committees at the same time, doing all sorts of stuff. But when I saw the form, I said, wow. So all these things do matter at the end of the day. If the only thing that you'll be able to present at those levels is just your 8 to 5, okay, you have not really articulated value. So what I would say to add to what Iyiola said is, at the end of the day, in thinking of value, because at times the word value could be very slippery. The question you ask yourself is, what problem are you solving? Because at the end of the day, all organized people are looking for people who will solve problems. I tell my clients at times, I said, you engage me because You want me to solve your problems. I tell my team members, at times the client might say, might send one mail. I said, don't worry, just relax, calm down. There's a problem, Abby. Even if the approach that they came with is not really good, let's look beyond the way the person spoke. I can call the person later and address that issue. But let's look at the end game. The end game is that you are solving a problem. And some of the ways in which you can build your value stock, I used that word earlier, is by the additional things that you do, the volunteer things, the setting of a committee. You don't volunteer. You just want to go home. You do your 8 to 5. You go for lunch, 1 hour for lunch. You spend all the time out there. It's my lunch time. Someone calls you. He says, hey, my lunch time. Please, nobody, don't disturb me. I'm having lunch. Okay? You are not building any value. Because those people will speak for you. They may be people you work with in committees that don't do work with you directly. And they will say, do you even know this guy? Yeah, I know him. We did this project together. Not related to your work. So I just felt led in my spirit that it's important to say it. So people don't just think it's the conscious things. The way you respond to challenges. There are novel initiatives in the organization that they need to implement. Do you step up? Even if you don't know it, are you willing to go and invest time to learn how to solve that problem? So let me move to the other question. Now, Iyiola said something very important, which I want to double down on. Your values. You see, many people break in their relationships, in marriage, because their value system is not the same. Their value system. So even if you think you're getting some additional value, the question you ask yourself is, cost benefit. What are you losing on the altar of seemingly getting some other value from the person? You're going to lose your soul because you think, and I tell people, I've had cause to speak on career. If you're in an organization and their value system goes contrary, especially if it's illegal. Now, there are some things that if you are not doing legal stuff, you may be the one who has the issue, and you just need to make adjustments. But if they are doing corrupt stuff and you are not comfortable with it, exit. And you know that tone at the top supports what is being done. Exit that relationship, or else it will become a toxic relationship. You will sell your soul to the devil, and the value you think you are getting will count for nothing at the end of the day. I hope that helps, Muyiwa.
Wow, that was
Yeah,
on point.
that was so good.
Okay,
the next question
good.
says, please, my question is, what should I do?
This one will go to Iyiola.
Okay, so this is from Josephine. Josephine is asking that, please, what should I do to be more connected to my mentors, regardless of the distance?
Well, to be honest, I think the first thing that I would want to say is to say, be in touch. Being in touch doesn't really have to be that you send a message that you expect an answer for, right? But sometimes you just want to send maybe it's a thank you message, maybe it's a happy holiday message, maybe you see something that is of interest to them or something that you think will be beneficial to them, you can send it to them, right? So they also see that it's not always just about, the mentor giving value all the time, right? They feel endeared. Most mentors will feel endeared to a mentee that shows appreciation, right? I remember the ones that show appreciation, and I don't want anything more than thank you so much for impacting me. Thank you so much for the benefits that I gained from this experience. You don't know what it does to your mentors. You don't know what it does to people. And I'll give you an experience. I post a lot on LinkedIn, share a lot of thought leadership, maybe posts and all of that. And because of that, I find out sometimes when I go outside, I don't even know people, but they just walk up to me. And yesterday I went for Mrs. Awoshika's live series, and a lady just walked up to me, introduced herself, says she follows me on Instagram and LinkedIn, right? And and then as we got talking, she was like, thank you very much for all that you do. I really appreciate it. What she told me felt like she gave me $1 million. And so even before she said what she said, it was just her introducing herself. Maybe I didn't really think that I should really connect. But after she told me that, I felt like I needed to look out for her. I wanted to know who she was and just to look out for her. That's how you get closer to people, right? People probably don't really need obviously don't need your money, but the appreciation, the show of care in that I understand the things that you like, I understand the things that interest you, and I've just come across it, forward it to them, and all of that. So that's what I would say in terms of getting closer to your mentor. I mean, you say something about distance. Thankfully, we're in a time where you can rely on technology to do everything you want to do, and the world is a global village. So for me, distance is not even so much of a problem. But you stay connected by keeping in touch, by sending messages that you don't even really require a response to, right? Just stay top of mind. That way, your mentor can get endeared to you, right? And you can stay top of mind in the mind of your mentor.
Okay, thank you very much, Iyiola. Let me just add a little bit because we're really running out of time to this. So will I use the word shock everybody on this platform? Everybody that spoke on this summit, and thank you so much to all our great speakers, from Bralade in Texas, to Ola yesterday, to Pastor Bukunmi, to Iyi, my dear sister. I have never seen them with my two eyes. It is only on this Mark Zuckerberg internet, as one of my friends will say, that we've met. And yes, I know that God permitting, we would meet. But we've been able to forge such a connection that we can do projects together. Yeah, 90% of the speakers on Read, I've not seen them before. All the speakers that came in last year, it was after Jimmy Tewe came in that, the next time he was in Abuja, I had to go like, Jimmy, we have to see. I just have to connect with you. You have to be deliberate. Iyi said something about putting out posts. Comment on their post. It shows you care. Reshare their post. All those things create some form of alliance. And this is a totally different topic, but Pastor Bukunmi mentioned that a bit when he was speaking. And it's a teaching that, I can take for the next 1.5 hours. But what I tell the people is, the king has a need. Every king, in fact, is the king that has the most need. So when you are coming with your own need, you are extremely myopic. When I'm meeting people, what I tell God is, God, please help me. What is the need in this person's life I can meet? It doesn't matter who it is. In fact, the bigger the person, the bigger the problem. And I'm rounding up on this because I don't want to make it a serious teaching. One of my mentees he was going through a particular phase in his life, and he needed a major telco giant in Nigeria to mentor him. And he came to meet me and he was like, he needs this guy. I said, go and research his social media page. And I gave him hints. Go and look for what this guy does not have that you can do for him. When you're approaching him, I'm cutting soap for you now. When you're approaching him, make sure you do this. And he came back, he was checking things. And I gave him one particular thing. Go and check. Does he have this? He said he doesn't have it. I said, can you do it? He said he can do it. I said, go and collect, look through his pages. Look at what you can do. Do the sample. Go and meet him. The rest, they say, is history. They are brothers and sisters. You have something. He had that skill set. There is no way you will not connect. But a lot of times, we are looking at all those chinkly things that we have, and we are carrying our own load on our head like gala. It's difficult because a lot of people are approaching with needs. You have to be able to stand out to make a difference. Esther Wojaye, I saw you raise your hand the other time. Do you want to speak? Let me yield the floor to you briefly, then we close. Amadi, I see you.
Sorry, ma, it's been answered. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. The last question is from Amadi, and I think he's even falling off now. So I would engage him. So Pastor Bukunmi did me the honors of introducing my book last year. I wrote this book, my first book. People are asking me when is the second one coming. Where is the money? And a number of things we've discussed actually hinges around this. Pastor Bukunmi said it, Ola said it yesterday. A lot of people, a lot of us, don't let me say a lot of people, say we are poorly paid. And the question is, are you the best paid in your organization? If you are not the best paid in your organization, that means that you are not poorly paid. What it simply means is that you lack the skill sets for your organization to pay you what they want to pay you. It's as simple as that. And we have to be able to tell ourselves this truth. And we've spoken very largely on it. So the question is, how do you upskill yourself so that you become that money magnet? You're able to attract the kind of value you want to attract. We could barely scratch the surface. In my book, I went in depth. It is very, 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 very practical. I get testimonials almost every day on the way the book is transforming life. As I say, it's my birthday. It's birthday season, so I did a promo for the e-copy only. The e-copy is 40% off. Initially, the book was going for 3,500 for the e-copy, but for the purpose of the summit, the e-copy, I took it down to 2,000 naira. The promo link is in there, so you can click and buy while the promo lasts. Terms and conditions apply, as they say. It's been amazing, amazing, amazing. It is Monday, and I don't want to keep us for this long.
If you have not gotten Coach's book and you want it, please get the book now while it's on promo. I'm cutting so for you. Get it. Run and buy. We pre-ordered. We waited for months for her to drop the book. Buy it now while it's hot. As it is hot.
Can we all unmute our mics and tell?
So that they can stop asking you for urgent to keep.
That era don't pass. Can we all unmute our mics and tell our wonderful speakers, mentors, a very, very big thank you? Please, can we unmute our mics and say thank you?
Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Okay, so with Benjamin's hand is up. Benjamin, can we give you 2 minutes? I was about to officially close. Read cohort 3. Benjamin, can we have you? Your hand is up. Can you unmute to speak? I think he's having challenges.